Hello world of YouTube and welcome to the next episode amidst the 6-year celebration for the show Redacted, the show where every album has a story. This week's theme is actually going to be this year's theme. Within the year of the sequel, throughout the Redacteds, I've also been tackling albums that are from 2020's sequel, 2022. And today's album is actually one that I'm going to be sort of re-tackling a concept within this show that I don't do that often, in the veins of really getting to the nitty-gritty of the sequencing. Given this project had a sort of scattering of ideas, its sequencing didn't help the scattering of ideas amidst the lyrics and instrumentals, and more felt like this messy release that, while maybe leaning into some of the themes and sort of the result of those themes, I feel like a rearranging of it all could sort of pull the vision the artist was working with into full view, and I think creates a more fruitful experience on the other side. This artist also dropped an album this year, so it feels all the more topical to talk about this release in question, given it was her last album before this one. The artist in question, Megan Thee Stallion, and the album in question is her sophomore outing, again from 2022, her 7th, full-length non-studio album release, but her 2nd studio album, Traumazine.
You've never been to heaven, have you? Ooh, it's the ride of your life. Hold on, 'cause baby, I might.
Now, Traumazine itself, when it released, was an album that I wouldn't say I liked any better or worse than Good News, Megan Thee Stallion's debut full-length studio album, but I think that the songs were still better, and there was something just inherently weird when spinning Traumazine that became all the more obtuse the more that I spun it. And when it came to looking at records to do, I kept coming back to the idea of just rearranging this album, because while the instrumental palette feels very scattershot in inspiration, you've got your hardcore bangers, you've got your pop leaning cuts, and you've got your sort of tangents from the pop side that get their own forms of wild in this track listing. But I think with a proper reining in, it feels less like a buckshot to a wall approach of scattering ideas all around, and more a juggling act where there's a cohesion across the delvings of frustrations with Megan in the industry and their image of her versus her image of herself, while also embracing what she's continued to embrace as an artist as far as her body image, writing those filthy, sexy jams to tear the club up, flexing that she is a hottie, and doing all the things that Megan Thee Stallion does, just finding a way to make it flow better. That was ultimately my goal with Traumazine, which is why I didn't cut any songs. I kept the track listing intact numerically. It is still an 18-track, 51-minute experience. However, in the next section, I'm going to be breaking down track by track why I put each track in its place after showing you the track listing. Now.
Nasty, bitches hating on me, but it's cool, niggas love me. Lottie banging, I ain't have to let the doctor cut me. Sick of being home, fuck it, bitch, I'm not nice. Yeah. Fuck it, bitch, I'm not nice. I bet your jaw drop if you ever see me, bitch. I'm her. She. Whole lot of fake ass, snake ass, backstabbing, hating ass, no money, getting ass bitches. Y'all acting really ungrateful, I'm sparing you hoes. I been coulda fucked y'all. Ay, easy does it. These bitches ain't bustin' shit, these bitches busted. You know this box is like my dick and consistency. Boy, I know you feeling me. Fuck all them other hoes, give me dick consistent. Bitch nasty, tatted on my ass. She scared to put that pussy on him cause he might harass me. Miss nasty,
I might just give you a bite of your sweetest pie. Ooh, baby, we can go fast. I'm driving you.
I'm a bad bitch and I got bad anxiety. People call me rude cause I ain't letting them try me. Saying I'm a hoe cause I'm in love with my body. Issues but nobody. Tick, tock, but it don't stop. You people ain't your people. They want what you got. Flip. Look at this AP, look at this Rollie. Who is this bitch that saying she know me? He heard about me, now he wanna fuck. Mrs. Quick to make him nut. Do it for me because dick don't run me. I run dick, nigga. Yeah. You's a bitch.
If it's worth it, I'm booking a jet. If it's worth it, I'm spinning the chick. I done broke out and switch, trying to put the whole thing in chest. When we fucking, we making a mess. Yes.
A bitch like me, yeah, I know my worth. Fucking with me is a gift and a curse. I pay my own rent. Ain't no nigga sleeping over, put me in my place. 'Cause every time I pop out, he get scared for you hoes. Yeah, he get scared for you hoes. Every time I pop out.
Yeah. Give me some time. Come fuck me, let's get fucked up on this red wine.
They don't need eyes to see when you're next to me. I'm a superstar. A bitch is Megan, and I'm from South Park. And if it's about some motherfucking money, we could talk. Ayy, a lot of bitches.
There isn't a song that starts this project better than NDA. I think that as far as like being the mission statement of Megan running bars where she confronts the haters, the opposers in the industry and otherwise, while also still embracing how much of a bad bitch she is, this does that tenfold. The instrumental does a good job at just building to a good, amped groove. You really get on Megan's back by the time the song is over. And the nuances that the instrumental adds throughout its initial build, I just think create this really good moment once it all comes together that I think does cap this record off in a pretty good groove. However, I do feel like while it's trying to keep that groove with Ungrateful, I think the better thing to do would be to pivot slightly. Keep the attitude and keep the tone, but shift the energy a bit while keeping it just as infectious, because NDA is ultimately a relatively catchy song, but I think leading up with something that maybe goes a bit bolder on the catchiness was a better move, and that's why I put Not Nice next. It keeps that attitude. Again, the song is not nice, and there's a whole tone of NDA where Megan's really like, hey man, I'm coming for the throat right now, and I wanted to just keep that energy with Not Nice. I love the groove of the song. I love that while it kind of slows things down and it adds some of the fun, airy synth stuff that the other songs in the track listing do, it does so in a way that doesn't necessarily feel like tonal whiplash entirely, before pivoting into an even catchier realm with the Infectious Her, a song that again keeps that attitude but goes further into the realms of self-empowerment. Looking at the haters, seeing that they really can't say shit about you because you are her. And I think that as far as being the other end of this three-peat of songs, which was sort of my goal with a lot of this, and how I sort of made this juggling act of sorts with tones and ideas while keeping it this sort of smooth listening experience. It's sort of all about buffering between ideas and letting both the sonic concepts not detract from the lyrical themes and letting them sort of bob and weave together. But Her is easily the catchiest moment that the album has built to thus far, while doubling down on the energy that Megan has been riding with over the last couple of songs, before finally pivoting into a moment that leads into 3 collaborations where Megan is again sort of adapting her style across the 3 songs, ending up back where she was on Her with Ungrateful, Budget, and Consistency. Ungrateful being a track where Megan turns that confidence back at people that are trying to take advantage of her, or people that are trying to look down on her by being a fake snake after she just proclaimed that she is her. I think that it's a nice sort of jab back, while, being this track of hey, I do believe in myself, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let you guys take advantage of me. I think that it's a solid collaboration with Key Glock. I do love the mood of the song as a whole, and I think that I get why Megan brought it earlier in the track listing to keep the energy from NDA. I think it's sort of a nice sort of dive back into the hip-hop world after the last couple of super catchy songs, and from there she goes into again another catchy jam with Budget, another collaboration with Lotto, where it's just 2 ladies showing that they are the baddest bitches on a track with a banger-ass beat. I love the beat of this song. I love that funk-inspired instrumental stuff that was very much big for a period in the early 2020s, and I think that Megan's song in that world is a solid enough catchy jam that, again, doubles down on the energy from Ungrateful and the mood from Ungrateful. You know, Budget has this really nice long fade out that I wanted to sort of utilize with the sequencing by bringing in something a lot smoother after that to sort of wash out this second 3-track while helping introduce the next wave of songs. I really like Consistency. It's a song where Megan gets really intimate and sensual, and I think Jhené Aiko provides a really good hook for that. And I think that as far as like being a moment where Megan sort of takes away from the I'm sick of all the fake motherfuckers, I really just want something real and consistent, which I sort of use the next couple of tracks to have Megan double down on throughout a variety of realms, which starts with the still catchy but solo filthy sexy banger Miss Nasty, where Megan breaks it down. She wants something consistent, but she wants it fucking filthy in so many details, which isn't the only track on here like this, but as far as like further introducing that side, I wanted to sort of double down on that with a sort of sandwich of sensuality that sort of comes in from Consistency and really starts with Megan going at it with Miss Nasty before getting a little tongue-in-cheek on the single Sweetest Pie after that. A song that I don't get why it closed out Traumazine. I think it's a weird closer, and I think that it fading in from Miss Nasty as the centerpiece of this even more hook-driven sort of sandwich of sorts, I think fits a little better. You know, I still don't think it's my favorite song from Megan's sort of pop-leaning songs, but I don't think it's terrible. And I think as far as like being this sexy euphemism jam, putting it within this pocket of sensuality was more my goal. When it comes to following up that song, I felt like there was only one place I could take it, and that's Anxiety. A song where Megan sort of bridges the worlds of that sensual sexual desire with her own issues internally, you know, her anxiety, an equal balance of like self-empowerment and a desire for comfort mentally, while there's other verses where she talks about just fucking to get away from it all. I don't know, it's a really personal feeling track that I sort of use as the other side of this bridge of sorts. It is a weird instrumental with that yodel loop going on in the background, but I think it follows up and makes it feels more digestible in the track listing following Sweetest Pie, in my opinion. Again, it's a really catchy, infectious song. I think that the refrain on it is, which admittedly, following up Anxiety also wasn't super easy, so I just kind of kept that part of the sequencing intact by following up with Flip Flop, a song that just sort of further extends that pop-driven tip as a sort of bridge to the next set of ideas, while lyrically she's pivoting more into that anxiety stuff on this song, doubling down on feeling like she's just surrounded by fake people, which is making her feel like she's not enough. The instrumental palette sort of pivots by its end. It starts with that soft synthiness, but sort of melts away to a more just sort of rattling hi-hat style instrumental. Now, while by the end of the next track, Megan's back on her I'm owning this dick shit, it sort of leans into the next couple of tracks anyway, but I go from Flip Flop into Who Me, a song that's more overtly a banger and is another collaboration, this time with Pooh Shiesty. Again, it sort of has these trading energies, but I think it helps sort of transition through the next couple of tracks, honestly, and I think that, like, as far as being a point where it's a more stark, maybe sort of mood shift, I think the first verse that Megan has where she more addresses her frustrations that she's had as in stardom, especially being tired of the question of, or talking about the fact that she was shot, you know, and more just wanting to move past that, I think sort of helps lean into the energy from Flip Flop, but helps sort of carry into some of the energy of Plan B, being the song after that, being this, you know, doubling down on, I'm over you fake motherfuckers, or you dudes that aren't worth shit that I'm fucking. You don't run me just because you have a dick. I run you because you're a bitch. I love that fucking line in the chorus. Dick don't run me, I run dick. You's a bitch. I think that it's just it's catchy in its own sense, different in a different way than all the other hook-driven stuff that I've had earlier on in the track listing. I love this song though. I love the beat. I think Megan has some great bars, and I think as far as like being this middle piece of this just banger-filled collaboration sandwich that is Humi through Pressurelicious, the song after that, and collaboration with Future, where again, I almost feel like she's going back and forth about Future while also going after the lame motherfuckers that keep trying to slide into her DMs or slide up to her that aren't worth shit. It also gets even filthier than Who Me and Plan B, which helps sort of lead into the next couple of tracks. And this run of the record, I sort of bounce back between collab and solo song, just because I think it's a good way of Megan showcasing her energy amidst these sort of 3-song groups that I've paced the album out with. While I don't necessarily think Future's collab is the best one he's done, I think that he fits the mood, and I think as far as like being a Future-ass Future work verse, it definitely is that. He fits the beat well, and I think that again, as far as like doing another point where lyrically it pivots into a realm that's tangential to where it's sat, I think that it does. It kind of puts the pedal further to the metal, which Megan gets even filthier following Pressurelicious with Gift and a Curse. Her pussy's a gift and a curse. Her love is a gift and a curse. You know, because it is that good. And even though she'll make you work for it, there's a whole other side to that gets sort of like talked about, but then comes further to light on the follow-up Scary. A great collab with Rico Nasty, where Megan talks about how she's so good that it is scary for all the other hoes when she's around, just because her love and her pussy is a gift and a curse. I love these 2 songs. They have a really good attitude and they pair well together. And again, I sort of keep them here to sort of round out the energy that was sort of planted in Pressurelicious. And while Red Wine after that goes even farther to some of the energy from Pressurelicious and Gift of the Curse, I don't think it necessarily follows either of those songs well, and I more want to use it to sort of help sunset the record of sorts by having these 3 more songs that sort of bring all of these ideas that the album's toyed around with to one last hurrah. Red Wine being this sort of airy, synth-filled, still sensual-ass jam, where it feels like Megan almost makes a cupcake-ass jam filled with moans and all, talking about how great her pussy is and how she's still the baddest bitch alive. Something that I honestly don't know if I can really refute anyway. While also craving a dick that is as good as her pussy has been proclaimed to be throughout this entire record. And really, if her pussy's that good, who can blame her for wanting dick that's just as good? You know, it goes farther to further double down on the idea that she is done with lame-ass dick. And again, I don't blame her. An idea that gets further extended on its follow-up, the song that feels like a good penultimate song, and that's why I put it here, Star. It's another catchy jam with a hook that feels like Megan is just building up to this huge climax. I love this song. I think it's a great collaboration with Lucky Day. And again, as far as being like one more sonic pivot, I think that it's a really good one. It's got a really nice reverb-soaked guitar and a nice clap to its instrumental. You can almost see it as the moment where she gets that dick that's as good as her pussy has been proclaimed to be, and this moment where it feels like they're both rising like a shooting star, while also being this moment where Megan gets to write her I'm a superstar moment. I think that is, again, it's just a good catchy-ass jam that helps sort of build the record up to its conclusion, which is Southside royalty-free style. I think that as far as like being the rap album posse cut closer, it's a pretty damn good one. It should have been the closer to the album original instead of Sweetest Pie, and so I made it the closer on my version of Traumazine. And that's my version of Traumazine. Are you curious about it at all? Do you want to listen to it? Do you have thoughts on it after listening to me describe it? If you do, leave those in the comments below, or listen to it linked in the Spotify or YouTube link, which are listed in the description. If you like this Redacted, give it a like. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. I've got 2 to 4 vids a week, depending on what I've got going on. Again, we're steeped in the celebrations of Redacted. Also, yes, the irony of me making Megan the 69th episode of Redacted isn't lost on me, and I hope that you can appreciate that as well. Either way, I'm going to go up and devour a rack. You guys have a good day's lots of situations, and I'll see you another day.